So the next step of the template is to add a drop-down box so the producers can come over to this little check mark, uncheck it and turn it on or off, and also choose which one they want it to say. So to begin, I'm just going to start by creating a panel. I'm going to use a little panel box here and come into the template and just drag a little panel here. When we create it, it actually gives you a little name, so we don't need that caption in here. I'm going to go over to the caption in the basic or the all tab and just delete that. Instead, I'm going to add a static image. So I'm just going to click on the static image, click within the panel, and I right click within the area here and it says edit image. So I'm going to click on edit image and navigate to where I took a snapshot of our little violator here. So I'm going to click OK, and here it fills in the image. So I'm just going to rearrange this to resize it a bit, and then we'll also just resize this panel a bit as well. So it doesn't need to be perfect, we'll just keep it as is, and I'm just going to move it down here. Next part is that we actually need to add a drop-down list. So I'm going to use this by coming up into this little option here where it says Unicode Combo Box. I'm going to highlight it and then come into my panel here and click on it. Now it gives us this little option. From here is really where we need to start the scripting. So I'm going to go ahead and enable the script button. And when we do that, it actually adds this little new window here where we'll be able to write some VB code for this. To get the VB code, what we actually need to do is to connect this combo box with this OMO box. So that's what we're going to do. First step, I'm going to highlight the combo box here and come into the All tab. Now within the All tab, we have an option here for UTF-8 items. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It gives us this little box here with 3 buttons. I'm going to click on that as well, and it opens up a new window. From here, this is where we can add the lines of text that we want to give the producers the choice of. So our first one is on location. So I'm going to go ahead and type on location in here. Our second option for them is happening now. So I'm going to type happening now. And then our third one is breaking news. And I'm just going to click OK. The TW Uni Combo Box 1 is a name automatically generated by Viz Template Wizard. And over here in the name, it says TW Uni Combo Box 1. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight that and Control C it, because I'm going to need that in the code. Now, before I can actually start writing code, what I need to do is create an event for this. So with the combo box highlighted here, I'm going to come over to the event and click on change. And in this window, I'm just going to type some type of naming convention. So this is going to be violator choice, let's say. So I'm going to type that in, hit enter, and once I hit enter, it automatically starts creating this little subroutine within our script container. From here, I can start adding our VB code. So what I'm going to do is say if, and the name of this drop-down box, which is TW Uni Combo Box 1, once I type period, then it brings up our little properties box. So we can search for our property or just type it in. This is item index. So it lists it here, and if you just want to double click it, it will fulfill it. So if our item index equals 0, then what we need to tell it is to select a certain number in our OMO. And our OMO control here, if we highlight it and go into the all column, you can see that the name of it is tdrag-edit1. So I'm going to copy that and come into my script, and I'm going to paste the name of the OMO. And we're going to type period, and then our box comes up again, and the value or the property of the OMO is text. So I'm going to say if item index equals 0, then the first OMO should be 1, since that's the first line of text. Then I'm just going to type end if. Now we also need to do this for each line that we have in the combo box. So again, I can just start by copying the code that I already have here. So I'm just going to Control C that, and we're going to type in Control V. And now we just need to change the numbers. So if this item index equals 1, then this OMO should equal 2. And then we'll type in end if, and we'll do it once more. We'll paste another line of code in here, and we'll change the numbers. So if this one equals 2, then this OMO should equal 3. And then we just need to type end if again. And from here, we should be able to test this template and this combo box to see if it actually works. So that's what we'll do. We'll go into run mode, and we'll just minimize Template Wizard here and bring up Artist as well. And I'm just going to resize this so that when we hit play here, we can actually see if anything happens. First, I'm just going to fill out some text in here, and we come into here, we should have our on location. So we hit play, and there you can see that the on location came up. So let's say if we change it to happening now, we hit play, that works, and we've tried breaking news, and that works as well. Now we want to make sure that this goes off if we uncheck this little chiclet. So as we hit play, you can see that it actually hides that little chiclet, but the breaking news is still there. So it means that we need to do some more modifications within our code to actually hide that if that checkbox is unchecked. So we'll go back into our edit mode of the script here, and we'll add some code to actually take care of that little problem we're having. Now within my scene, within artist, I actually put a blank group within our OMO, so that if the OMO equals 0, there should be nothing in there. So I need to equate that OMO to this little checkbox, and that's what we're going to do. So if I highlight this checkbox, again, we have the name here over in the all. So I'm just going to go ahead and Control C or copy this name, because we're going to need that for the code. Now I also need to create an event for this little checkbox, so that's what we'll do now. And I'll come to event here, and we're just going to go into the on click, and again we'll just give it some type of name. So I'm just going to say this is violator on off. We'll just give it that name, and I'll click enter, and again it created another new subroutine for us. So here you get the name of our little checkbox again, which was TTW checkbox. So again, it's just Control C that. We'll come into our template, and we're just going to say if, and then I paste it. It says TTW uni checkbox dot checked equals false. Then our OMO, which is tdrag edit 1. So I'm just going to copy the name there, paste our OMO in here. Our tdrag edit 1 dot text equals 0, and we're going to type end if. Now we can go back and test it again. So I'm going to turn my chiclet on, and I'm just going to change it to happening now. We're going to send it. Okay, that works. If I turn the chiclet off and hit send again, and it's now a blank area, nothing is happening. So if we turn it back on, change to on location, that works. Breaking news, looks like it works. And then if we turn this chiclet off, we hit play, that also works. So once the functionality is down, again, you can come in here and just kind of retweak these things design wise or look wise if you want. If you want to kind of stretch this out a little bit, you could, or color code it as well too. You could do that. So one last thing that we may want to do to help the producers and give them a visual clue is that if this little box is unchecked, then this panel should be hidden. So we can go into our script and modify this a little bit further to make that happen. So here I'm in my subroutine where it says violator on off, and what we want to tell it is actually say if this thing is unchecked, then that panel should be hidden. So I'm going to start typing this, and what we need to do is get the name of this panel, and the panel is here in the name, panel 9. So we can say panel 9 dot visible equals false. So if dot checked equals false, then the panel's visibility should be false as well, or else panel 9 dot visible equals true. So once we have that, we can go ahead and test that and see if that works as well. So we'll go into run mode, bring up artist as well, and now when I turn on my chiclet, we should get an option here. So I'll choose on location, that works. If I turn my chiclet off, we hit play, no chiclet should come up. And then if we turn it back on and choose another option here and hit play, that should all be functioning. So one last thing that I just want to do within this, and just so we don't confuse the producers, is that if we actually want to change the name of this thing from chiclet. So here I highlight it over here in the caption, it says chiclet. I'm just going to change that name to violator, or whatever you call yours, you can change it to that as well. So that was the drop down box. Now the last thing that we want to actually do is create some radio buttons for them to choose the upper left, and that will be the next step of this template.